it's time to start. I can see anything in the chat. Okay, let me switch to this. All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much. It's time for us to start. If you can hear me, kindly please put your name in the chat box. I want to be sure that people can hear me before I begin to talk for so long. I want to be sure that people can hear me. Please, your name in the chat box. Your name, just your name. Once I can see your name, I know that you can hear me. I don't want to type it, because if I type it, it will not. I want to be sure that people can hear me. So put it there. Today we'll be moving on from where we stopped yesterday, and we'll be getting our images into our project, and then we will see how we can learn one or two more things before we now go into our project today. Okay, thank you so much, Esther. You can hear me. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. All right. So if you can hear me, that means every other person too can hear me. Let's move on straight into our class for today. What you are seeing on your screen is the drive. The link I put in the description for images, it will lead you into this drive. And so once you are in this drive, you want to download this drive. Yesterday, I could not download it because my Chrome was misbehaving. And I told you that developers always have more than one browser. So now I'm using Firefox now, and it is showing very well. So it's showing me these images, which is the folder containing all the files that we are going to be using, as you can see. So to download all these folders, for those of us who have not downloaded, just come up here beside images, click on this arrow, and then you will see the download option here. And after you have downloaded, once you click on this download, it will download into your system. So let's look at how we can get those images from our system into our VS Code on this side. So that is what I will be doing now. I want to move the images that have been downloaded on my system into my VS Code. All right. So the screen that you are seeing now is for VS Code and the Explorer, where the downloaded images have been positioned. So this is the images that have just been downloaded in a zipped file. How do we get it out? For those of us who does not know, for those of us who do not know how to get these images out, it's just like this. Right click on the folder or on the icon that you are seeing. Once you right click, you are going to be seeing something like extract to somewhere, extract to something. It's going to say something like extract to, and that is what you click. So when you click that extract to, you will have it extracted into this image, into this folder like this. You can see that this folder is different from this one, but they are carrying the same name. So once you are here, you can open the folder, and then it's going to give you another folder inside called images. You will open that folder again, and these are the images that you want now. They are now on your system. They are on your computer, but you want them be inside your VS Code machine. So we want them inside this folder here. I will be deleting this one that I have there before. Let me delete this one. The three of them, I want to delete them. I will right click and choose. They are gone. Move to recycle bin. And then I'm going to move in all these images now into this images folder. So I will just select all of them by pressing Ctrl A. Ctrl A for all. I'll select all of them by pressing Ctrl A, and I'll select all of them by pressing Ctrl A. And after pressing Ctrl A, I'm going to try and attempt to move them into this VS Code. So watch me. I'm moving now. I'm moving 38 files already. 38 files. So just drag them across, and then you want to put them inside. If you drop them here, no. Make sure it is only covering the images folder. So you keep on moving it upward. If it is like this, no, it will not. It will not work. It will. You can see that the gray area is covering more than images. So I will move my mouse up until it is covering only the images. Then right now I'm sure that it will land inside images folder. So I'm going to drop it. I've dropped it, and everything has been copied right now in my images folder. And with that, I've been able to have all my images in my project. Okay, after we are through with that. That was the depth I'm going since yesterday. So let's go back to our our training, our VS Code, and our browser now. So VS Code and our browser, I will be um, starting by clicking on go live so that we can see whatever it is that we are doing in our we can see it on the browser, so that we can see it on the browser. Where's my browser? Let me find it. Okay, this is my browser here. This is the browser I want to be using. Okay, now the training folder you have is just the same way as this one. So I'm going to so that I can teach new things today, I'm going to clear off all this one. Or should I not? Let me clear it off. Let me clear off all these ones, and then I can start all over again very, very briefly. Since we have talked about them before, it won't be difficult for us to do. Okay, let me see what we have here. Okay, what about the CSS? Okay, now well, let me just create a folder here. Let's go. I'll delete all these things, delete all the files, then I'll start again by using by creating index.html, including the folder, including the images. Oh boy. Index.html, then I press enter, then I do I create another file called in style.css, then I do another folder called images now. Okay, then I bring in my images. You have already seen how I did it, so there is no magic in that one again. So just copy it from wherever it is that you have pasted it and drag them into your images folder, and then you have them like that. Okay, now after that, in my index.html, I'm going to start by creating my boiler code, shift exclamation mark to press the tab, and after I do that, I'm going to have this. So the title I will be giving to this one is, let me give it my e-commerce. You can use any name you want. You don't have to use my own business name. I beg. My own business name is my e-commerce, so use your own too. Please use your own too. All right. Now my e-commerce. Then after that, I already know that I have to link my style sheet with my index.html. So I will come here. As I type link, it gives me all these options. I'll just click on the one with CSS, and then it's already linked like that. Style.css is linked already. Then the next thing I want to do is to come into the body and start putting things there. Let me just put one just to test whether it is working. I type H1, press tab, and put testing 1, 2, 3. Then I save it. Then I click on go live so that I can see it in my browser. Click on go live so that I can see it in my browser. And okay, it's opening the browser, but the browser is not the browser I want to use. Let me see the port. Port is 5500. So once you click, it's going to open for you. So let me use my let me use my expertise to bring it into the browser where I want it. Good. So this is the browser where I want it now. When you click it, it's going to open for you in your own browser that you are using. The browser that is opening for me now is not what I want to use. I want to use Mozilla. So I just brought it in here right now. So testing 1, 2, 3, everything is testing. Let me check if my style is working too. H1, I want color to be red. I want color to be red. And then when I save it, I can see it on the screen. Can you see? Everything has been set up now within 1 minute. Everything is set up within just 1 minute now. So now that we have set up that one, let's go into what we want to learn today. I'll be going to what we want to learn today. We have already done all this H1, H2, something before now. Today, I want us to learn what we call ordered list. Ordered list. Ordered list. How did I get this one? This line I'm writing now is a comment. And comment means it will not be read by browsers. It will not be read by browsers when browser is reading. So it's just coming for me to understand what I want to do. So that's what I'm using. How did I get it? I will do it again because some people are having issues with it. Just press Ctrl /. Then it will give you this one. Then you can begin to type ordered list. I want us to do ordered list. I've copied it and pasted, and then we'll talk about on ordered list. By the time we use them now, you will see how they look on the screen. So let's start with the first one, which is ordered list. How do we do ordered list? How do we do ordered list? How do we do ordered list? Now, ordered list means you want to write something like you want to make a list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You want to list something on the screen. And how do we start it? Just type OL. When you type your OL, it will give you something like this image abbreviation to show that you understand what you want to type. And then once you understand what you want to type, you just press tab. You press tab. Somebody is saying what is being displayed. I'm seeing the correct thing on my own streaming here. No, 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 no. You don't need to delete the previous one. Actually, you can put all these questions inside our Slido. I will be answering them there. I'll be answering them there. Please put all your questions in the Slido so that we can. I just did that to be a refresher because the previous one did not have the previous one did not have something. Okay, the guy's picture was supposed to be here. My VS Code. Okay, VS Code is not showing. Okay. VS Code. Yes. Now, which folder are we now using? Okay. Let me see. Okay, let's go to this place then. Okay, sorry about that. I have plenty windows opened on my screen. That is why. Let me see. So we come to this place. Okay, no problem. Let me start with this one, but I've already spawned this one up here. Okay, let me go switch it. Okay, I'm going to switch it for you now. Sorry about that. Thank you so much for letting me know. Thank you so much for letting me know. Traditional now. Okay, you will be able to see it now. Sorry about that. You'll be able to see it now. Okay, let's continue. Now, I want us to do ordered list. So don't worry, you don't have to delete everything. I deleted because I wanted to do everything sharp for the benefit of those who are still having issues with it. Now, ordered list, once you do OL, you press tab, and then it will give you this one. Okay, let me do that part again. I want to create ordered list. Ordered list is OL. So I will type OL, and when I do OL, I will, when I do OL, I'm going to press, it's going to give me something like this, image abbreviation, that I'm going to just press tab to give me this OL here. OL means I want to create an ordered list. So inside this ordered list, I'm going to have what we call list item. List items. Can you guess what the abbreviation for this list item will be? If ordered list is OL, list item would be, you got it correctly, LI. So once you type LI and then you press tab, it's going to create this one for you. So let's say the first person you want to type is Rebecca. Maybe you want to write the names of noisemakers. Write the names of noisemaker. Then you press LI again and press tab, and then you want to put Thompson. And then you want to do another one and put who are you putting now? Let's see who we are putting. Let's put Shade, and the last person we are putting is Anthony. And then when you save it, you are going to be having 1, 2, 3, 4 on the screen. That is the meaning of ordered list. That one is clear, right? So let's go to the next one that we call unordered list. For unordered list, you can easily guess what the abbreviation for this one will look like. Of course, you got it right. UL. So once you type UL, you press tab for unordered list. Unordered list, you are going to see how it will look. Now, instead of using numbers, it's going to be using bullets and icons. So unordered list, inside it also you are going to be having list item. So I'll just press LI, press tab, and maybe the first thing I want to do is go shopping, and then I can easily copy and paste the previous line, and then I do go swimming. I save it. I'm going to be seeing those ones on the screen, and then let me not confuse. I'm just doing my li JJ like this. Then go to the market. Go to the market. Go to the market. Go to the market. So when I save it, I'm going to see it on the screen. So this is order. The first one is ordered list. The second one is unordered list. So this is the difference between them. So anytime you see a list on a website, this is how they created them. Now, the next thing I want us to talk about today is what we call Unicode characters. HTML Unicode characters. What are HTML Unicode characters? We are going to see them being used right now. Let me put them here. It's like this. This is how to spell it. HTML Unicode characters. This line, I want to use it as a comment. So I'm going to comment it out by pressing Ctrl//. It's as easy as that. Whether you have first of all typed it, or you want to do your Ctrl// first, the line where you are pressing Ctrl// becomes the comment automatically. So I'll be going to my browser, and I will search HTML Unicode. So type HTML Unicode in your browser and press enter. So it's going to search for you and bring this one out. You are coming here, this top tile. This top tile is where you are coming. HTML symbols, entities, characters, and code. So we have a lot of icons. When you click it, you will see several icons, plenty of icons that you can use in your web project. For example, now, if I want an arrow, if I want this arrow now, I will just come to the HTML code for it. This is the HTML code for it here. The third one is the HTML code. I'll copy HTML code for arrow, and then I'll come here. Let me paste it in front of go to the market. Once you paste it, you can save. And once you save, you can see, you will see it in your browser immediately. Once you save. So once you save, you will see it in your browser immediately. Let me show the browser now. Can you see the arrow now, the right arrow now on the go to market? So let's pick another one. Let's say you want copyright image. If you want the copyright sign, just come here and pick the HTML code. This is the HTML code. You can use this one too, the HTML entity. It will still work. So let me use this HTML entity this time. I'll copy this one. Let me put it at the front of Go Shopping. Let me put it here. Let me put it there. Let me copy it again. I've messed up the copying. Okay, I'll be copying the HTML entity this time, Ctrl+C, and then I'll be pasting it right here. So I'll be copying the, let me copy the HTML code so that you can know that it is the same thing and they will do the same work. Paste, you can see that two different things I've copied, but they are all under C, under this copyright sign. And once I save it now, I'll be seeing them in my work. So you can see that copyright is showing beside Go Shopping, copyright is showing beside Go Swimming, just because I have these two things here. That is one of the things I want us to learn today. That's one of the things I want us to learn today. So copyright, Go Shopping, you can use HTML entity code, just search through anything you want. If you want mark, if you want degree centigrade, ampersand, anything you want, keep on searching and keep on picking it. If you want sign, multiplication, division, sign, anything you want is there. And so that is one of the things I want us to learn today. So we have covered unordered list, ordered list, and HTML Unicode characters. With that, let's go to our CSS. Let's go to CSS now. For our CSS, let me just confirm that the streaming is still on and is going fine. Okay, it's going fine. The streaming is going fine. For our CSS now, okay, I only have H1 color red here. I'm going to clear it. And I want to introduce us to a concept today. I want to introduce us to a new concept. This new concept is called flex. I've created a comment now just by pressing Ctrl//. So I want to introduce us to what we call flex today. Before now, there was no flex, and it was difficult to position items on the page, on a website. It's very, very difficult to position items there. So let's say, let me have something here. Let me have a div. Let me have a div here. A div. And then let me put two things inside this div. You know, I said div can be a container wrapper, a wrapper that can wrap things. So let me put in two things inside this div. I'm going to put h2. H2 is big text. Then I'm going to put a p tag. P tag is small text. Now I'm putting these two items inside a div, right? Now normally when I save now, how are they going to be displayed? They're going to be displayed under each other like that. Let me change this I to small I. I will save it, then it will be reflected immediately. So how do I normally this is how they normally display. They will display under each other. But what if I want them beside each other? I want big text on this side and I want small text to the right side like this. That is where flex comes in. So I'm going to be targeting their wrapper, which is their container, which is this div. So let's go to our style container and to our style sheet and say I want to pick div. I'll put my curly brace there. Some people were using parentheses instead of curly braces. It is parentheses. Please look at the sign, look at the symbol very well. It is parentheses. It is curly braces. They are called curly braces, and that's what we use. You can't use any other thing. You can't use parentheses. You can't use square brackets. So I'm going to say display it. Once you begin to type display, it's going to give you this option. So you click on it, and then it will give you the different values that you have for display. I'm going to be picking flex. When you save this one now, you can see that they will be beside each other instead of staying under each other. Now, how do I separate them so that they will not be this close? They will not be this close. I can use what we call justify content. As you begin to type just, it is going to give you all these options. Are you trying to say justify self or this one? Well, what I want to use is justify content. When you do justify content, it's going to give you the options under that justify content. You don't need to remember all of them. Just scroll through, and of course, you must have known the one that you want to use anyway. So justify content. There is what we call space between. When I do this space between and I save it, come and see what will happen. Can you see? Big text is on the left, small text is on the right. That is what justify content space between will do for you. So it makes things look awesome with the use of flex. There's another one called align items. Justify content, you will see that it is working horizontally from left to right. It's arranging our items from left to right. We can have align items too. As you begin to type align, it will show you this option, and then you can pick align items. Align items, which value do you want to pick? It's going to give you other options for align items, which are, what do you want to do? Align items, we normally use center so that it will center them vertically. For this text now, you will not see it. So I'm going to create another div, another two boxes with color so that you can see the meaning of these align items. To be able to do that, let me go back to my index.html file. Index.html file. So what will I be doing? Let me comment this one out. I'll comment this one out. Then I'll come here. I will create another div. And inside this div, I'll be having okay, let me be having, okay, I can still use this one actually. okay. Let me still use that one, because the next concept I want to do now will confuse us, because I have not taught you the last thing I want to teach you for today, which will help you to be able to grab that one. It's still today, don't worry, you are getting it today. So I'm going to be styling H2 and P now for them to look like a box. I'll be styling H2 and P so that they can look like a box. Height 200 pixel, since this one is the big one. Then width 200 pixel too, 200 pixel. And then let me put background color. Background color of this one is red. Let me put background color of this one is red. Then I will be going to the P now, because I have H2 and P there. I'll be going to the P. Height of this one, let me make it short. Let me make it smaller. Let me make it just 50 pixel. 50 pixel. I'll put semicolon at the end. You must put semicolon at the end. You see that all lines are ending with this semicolon. If you don't put this semicolon, it will be wrong. For example, now let me remove this semicolon here. You will see it will not work. It will not be fine. This one is fine. Okay. It has put it there automatically. Okay, sorry. It has put it there automatically. Normally, it will not work. It will just bring error for you. So lines in CSS must end with this semicolon. I have something that helped me to put this thing there automatically, even if I forget to put it there. That's why you are seeing it there. Okay, Height of this one is 50. Width also will be 50 pixel, 50 pixel. And the color is going to, background color, sorry, background color. Background color is going to be, let me use blue violet for this one. Then when I save it, I'm going to be seeing something like this. Now, let me come back to my CSS. Let's come back to my CSS. Come back to my CSS. Let me remove these two information, these two lines. Let's remove it and save. What do we have? This is what we are having. Okay, let's remove this one. What are we having? If you remove display of flex, this is what we are having. They will be under each other like this. But if I want them to be beside each other and for them to be to appear responsive, so that when they are watching your website on a mobile phone or they are watching it on a desktop, a large screen, it will still look well. Then we use display of flex. I'm going to open it. So let me see how we are going to type it again. You put, as you begin to type display, it means you want to set how your objects are displayed. Okay, so you press enter on display and then you come down on flex and select flex. Once you do that, you save. They will be beside each other like this. But you want more than this. You want them to be spread out. So you use what we call justify content. Okay, before you do justify content, let's first do align. You want this purple box to be at the middle of red instead of just staying on top. You want it to be at the middle of red, somewhere here. So to be able to do that, we use what we call align items. You know, I gave you the two last time. Align items, and then the next one is justify content. So justify content is there, align items to is there. So these are the three things that you will be needing for now. So as you begin to type align items, it gives you all this option. You choose align items and then you will choose center. Once I save this one now, you will see that it will come to the center of that red text. So the entire box here has been I've magically arranged it so that it will stay at the center of the red box. Okay. After that, we will also now do justify content. As you begin to type just, it will be, as you begin to type just, it will give you the options. Then you just choose justify content and then you choose justify content. You can scroll down. There are a lot of options there. You can experiment with all these options and see what is giving you. But the one that I want us to use now is what we call space between, like this. Space between. So I'm going to save it and then you will see what we are seeing on the screen. So that is beautiful. That is beautiful. That's the beauty of flex, using flex in your work. Okay, then the last thing I want us to talk about today before we now go into our project, because of power, they have not restored our power. I'm on battery and I don't know when my inverter will shut down. Okay, now let's go to the last one I want us to talk about today. In your work, you will have plenty divs in your work. You will have more than one H2. You will have more than one paragraph. How do you selectively identify each paragraph? For example, if I have another paragraph here now, and it is, let me put the third paragraph, and I save the third paragraph, sorry. Okay, and I save it, it's going to be here, right? It's already here. But I don't want to style this paragraph the same way. The same way I've styled paragraph here. I style paragraph to have this height and this width and this background color. I want it to be different, but there's no way to do that because we are using the paragraph. What we do here, we affect all paragraph the same way. It's going to affect all paragraph the same way. So what do? There is something we call class and ID, and I'm going to be using that one now. Let me write it here for you. Class, then at the end I have ID. So how do we use class? You can put class on any element you drop on the screen and then you go to your CSS and use it. This is how to do it. Let's say I want to style this third paragraph differently now. I'll come to the paragraph tag. In the opening tag, remember this is the opening tag and this is the closing tag. This is the opening and this is the closing. Okay, in this opening tag, after the P, press a space and type class. In fact, as you begin to type it, it's going to give you this option. Just click on class. It's going to give you that space there to type. Your cursor will be there automatically, and then you can just give it a class. Maybe you say third. You can give it third. Any name you want, you give it. But for class, okay, any name you want, you can give it. So the class I've given this one now is third. I'm going to go into my CSS code now, and then I'm going to go into my CSS code and affect this third, though it's a paragraph, but it will not affect this one. It will be different now. So let's go to the style.css and pick our third. How do we pick third? Do we just write third like this? You know, I cannot use P again because I'm now using class. If I just use third like this, it will not work. So what do I do? Because it is a class, anytime you are dealing with a class, then you start with a dot. So you say dot third like this, dot third. And once you have picked that, you put your curly brace and let's change everything. Let's say the height of this one is going to be 100 pixels. The width of this one is going to be 100 pixels. And the background color of this one is going to be, can you guess what the color I want to use will be? Background color is going to be green. It's going to be green. I will save it, and then you will see that even though both of them are paragraphs, let me go back here. You see that both of them are paragraphs. This is paragraph, this is paragraph, and normally are supposed to be subjected to the same rule of this P that I've written here. But no, my usage of class will make this one to be special. It will make this one to be special, just like that. Now, this class, I can still use it elsewhere in other places. For example, now, if I want this one to look like this paragraph here is looking, all I have to do is come here and say class equal to third also. So I've applied that same class here, and I'm applying it here. When I save it now, I'll be expecting this first part here to look like this third. So let's save it. Let's save it, and then you can see that it's applying now. How did we get it? We created a class here called third. We defined its meaning, what third means, and we remember that you must put dots before the name of the class. If it is a class, you put third before the name of the class. And after you have done that, you can see the change, and then you can also use the class name anywhere in your project. The class will apply to them. Okay. Now, the second one, apart from class, that we can also use to identify a particular element, just one, a particular element, is called ID. The reason why these two things are important is because we know that we will have many of these elements on our web page. So we cannot be writing, we need to be able to select one of them per time. So that is why class and ID, that was why they were created. I'm going to use ID now. So let me use ID for this one. So let me use ID for this H2. So ID, I'll say ID. As you begin to type ID, it's going to give you this one. So you say ID equal to the value you give it must be inside the quotes. The same way like class, you must give it a name. So ID for this one is, let's say big, just BIG. Mind you, the lettering of the word you put here matters. If you type capital T here, it will not work again. If you are putting capital T here, then you must put capital T also in your CSS. So the lettering matters. So just use small letter all through. So third, third. So P class is third, and ID is big. So I want to pick this H2 now. Instead of just writing it inside H2, so let me take this H2 away. Okay, or let me just okay, let me take it away so that it will not conflict. I'll take this H2 away, save it. Then the H2 looks like this now. It's looking like this. So I have already given it an ID. The ID is big. How do I select the ID of big? Remember that for class, we have to put dot there. So for this one, the ID is big, but I cannot leave it as big. For me to be able to select it as an ID, I have to include this hash sign. Most of you have used hash before on social media. Hash big, hash free hour, something, I don't know. So hashtag, you see it on your keyboard. I believe we know what hash is. If you don't know, please ask on the group. Somebody will send it to you. Or if you ask on the group, I can create an on-screen keyboard and send it to the group. But I think everybody knows what hash is. So I'm going to be defining it here. Let me say the color. I want the color for this, anywhere we use hash big to be, I want the color to be let the color be green. the color be green. As I save it, it's going to be affected immediately because I've already picked the ID. So let's say I want to have I want to have what else am I going to have? Let's have background color of this blue violet. I want it to be showing on the screen like that. So this is how to use class. This is how to use ID. And I'm using my ID on this element H2. I've used my class here and here. Can I use this ID also on another item? No. When you're using ID can only be used for only one item. You cannot use it for two items because it has to be different. You know, we said ID means identification. So class means a class. That's in a class, you can have many students in a class. Like now we have more than one student in this class. But each of us have a particular ID that we are carrying. Each of us have different ID that we are using. So ID has to be one, while class can be, you can use class everywhere, anywhere you want. You can use class in multiple places. So that's the difference between class and ID. Please go back over the video if you are feeling, if you go back over the video if you are feeling that it is too fast. Go back, pause it, and practice everything that we have said. Make sure you are watching the screen while you are doing it so that you will have no issue. Okay, that will be all that I want to share today in our training. So now let's go into our project and try and do what we want to achieve today. We have seen the project yesterday, and I believe I have the images here. Yes, I have the images here. So I will be using the images to create that that first page now. Let me name this one something else. Let me name this one training.html. Let me name this one index2. Index2. Okay, and I'm going to create an index now. Index.html now that I'll be using. I'll be writing my style inside here for project. For you, I believe you have a folder called project. So you just go to your folder and drag the folder project or your VS Code, and then you begin to work in your project folder. Yes, you begin to work in your project folder. So this one I'm doing here, this renaming of something I'm doing does not concern you. This renaming I'm doing here does not concern you. Once you are done with your training, you want to start working on your project, just go to your folder, your project folder, drag it on your VS Code, and then you will continue to work on your something like that, on your project like that. So I'll be closing this one. Index, no, index. Okay, let me work on index. I'm working on index. Okay, working on index. Let me change this one to project. Save. We still remember how the something is. So right now I want to reopen my live server. I want to reopen it. So I'm going to close it now. Then I will, once the closing is done, I will reopen it again so that it can load this index.html for me afresh. How do I get it? I'll come back to this place and say I'll still need this branch. I'll still need this tab. I'll say localhost and then that one, press enter, and then I'll begin to see this one there. Let me link all these things I'm doing it because I just created a new index.html. You don't need to do this one. You would have done it in your project file already. Okay, I want to start building the project that we are building, and I want to do that first part. So let me show you again what it looks like. I'm coming. This is what it looks like so that it can guide us into knowing what to pick and what not to pick. Okay, so this is what we want to achieve today, this first part here. We may not put this one there, we won't put this icon, we won't put the, but we are going to have our menu list. We're going to have our menu list, and then we are going to have this icon, and then we are going to have this image and this button here in the next few minutes before my inverter starts crying. Okay, let's start. Inside this body, I'm going to have a div. You already know what a div is. It's a wrapper. That's the wrapper that's going to have this color. So that's the div. So let me give it a class. You already know the meaning of class now. I'm going to give it a class of wrapper because it's going to be wrapping some things. Inside this wrapper, Inside this wrapper, I'm going to be having two things. I'm going to be having an image. And I'm also going to be having a list, menu list. I'm going to be having menu list like this, image and menu list inside here. But inside this wrapper, you see that we have more than one row. If I use flex on this wrapper now, it's going to place image to the left, which is this logo here. Let me say logo. It's going to place the logo to the left, and then it's going to place menu list to the right. But that will be all for the wrapper. But I need more than that. So let me, instead of creating it inside here, inside this wrapper, let me have another div that will carry that one for me, that will carry logo and menu list. This one will be like on a row, left and right. Then under this left and right, I'm going to have another second row, which will be another div again. I believe this one is clear. So this one is going to be, firstly, I'm going to have texts. We have two texts. They give your workout a new style. Then I'm going to have the image, big image there, which is this second image here. Okay, now let's begin to flesh it out. Don't worry, if you have questions after, if you watch this video and you have questions, bring them on the group. I will answer them. But if you're able to pause it and listen to what I'm saying here, you should have no problem. Let's start. This wrapper first, I'm going to style it. How am I going to style it? I'm going to style it this way. Wrapper. Remember, it's a class, so I must start with a dot. So I'll put the name there, wrapper, and I will say display it as flex. And before I do this one, I should have even done, before I do display flex, let's see how they look without this display of flex. Let's just put background there. We did this one yesterday. So you click on background, and when you do your background, you will have, I want to use, this one is radial gradient. Radial. It's not linear, radial. So I have radial gradient. As you begin to type radial, it shows you need to put two values here, at least two values for you to have that radial. The first one I'll be putting is white. Color for white is FFF, or you use white itself, but I'll be using FFF, #FFF.